Have you ever stopped to think about what it meant to be considered beautiful thousands of years ago? The aesthetic standards that seem universal today are actually a product of our time and culture. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel if you are passionate about these topics and leave a like on the video. Now let's start. In times past, beauty was not just a matter of looking in the mirror. It was a tapestry woven with peculiar and dangerous practices where aesthetics merged with a world where dilated pupils and broad foreheads were symbols of seduction and status. At the height of the Renaissance, the obsession with high foreheads became a true cultural phenomenon among women of the European aristocracy. Inspired by Greek and Roman statues, many women adopted painful methods to remove hair from their frontal line. One of the most common methods was to pluck out hairs one by one with tweezers, a long and painful process. To soothe the pain, rudimentary ointments based on chamomile and clove oil were used. An even more drastic method involved the use of a corrosive mixture of vinegar and quicklime, which often caused burns to the skin. Lucrezia Borgia, daughter of Pope Alexander VI, was famous for her high forehead and was considered an example of Renaissance beauty. Testimonies tell how much pain she endured to maintain that appearance. During balls and parties, her large foreheads were highlighted with tiaras and jewels, creating a contrast with the elaborate hairstyles of the time. Unlike the Renaissance and Baroque, the Middle Ages had a more functional and less aesthetic approach to the human body. Hair removal was practically non-existent, and both men and women accepted armpit and leg hair as a natural thing. Personal hygiene was limited due to the lack of regular bathing, and bodies were covered with heavy clothing. Ibn Battuta, an Arab traveler, reported with surprise how even European noblewomen displayed body hair without embarrassment. Religion also played a role. The Church discouraged practices related to vanity. Hildegard of Bingen, a 12th century religious figure, wrote of the importance of inner purity over physical appearance. The lack of hair removal was therefore an expression of humility and devotion. In different eras and cultures, female fat was a symbol of wealth, fertility, and social status. During the Renaissance and Baroque periods in Europe, painters such as Rubens portrayed women who were considered aesthetically ideal. Being fat meant coming from a wealthy family with plenty of food and a life free of hard work. This idea also dates back to the Upper Paleolithic, as demonstrated by the famous statuette of the Venus of Willendorf, with exaggerated forms to symbolize fertility and abundance. In Polynesia, on islands such as Tonga and Samoa, Gordura was seen as a symbol of health and prosperity. Ritual dances and tattoos celebrated shapely bodies. In Egypt, the goddess Hathor was represented as a robust woman, a symbol of motherhood and joy. Many women tried to imitate her body in the hope of receiving blessings. During the Renaissance, pale skin was considered a symbol of beauty and nobility. To achieve it, men and women used cerussa, a highly toxic mixture of lead and vinegar. Elizabeth I of England was famous for her white skin and daily ritual of applying layers of wax. This substance caused headaches, kidney problems, and mental deterioration, but the social pressure outweighed any risks. During the Renaissance, Belladonna, which means beautiful woman in Italian, was used to dilate the pupils and make the eyes look larger and more seductive. The active ingredient, atropine, caused side effects such as blurred vision, eye pain, and sensitivity to light. Some women, like Lucrezia Borgia, used it regularly, risking hallucinations and heart problems. At parties, the dim light of the candelabras made the dilated eyes a weapon of hypnotic charm, but at a high price. In Egypt, baldness was synonymous with purity. Men and women shaved their heads completely and wore elaborate wigs, often decorated and colored. Besides aesthetics, this also helped prevent lice. Even pharaohs like Tutankhamun were depicted wearing wigs, attesting to the importance of this practice. In France, the fontange was a very elaborate hairstyle held up by bows and ribbons. It required hours of work, and women often slept, sitting down to keep it intact. The name derives from Madame de Fontange, mistress of Louis XIV, who styled her hair in this way improvised during a hunting trip. It soon became a symbol of high society. During the Edo period, Japanese women painted their teeth black in a practice called ohaguro. It was a sign of beauty and marital fidelity, as well as protecting the teeth from cavities. This custom was banned in the 19th century with the modernization of Japan. Pale Venus was the feminine ideal. Rice powders and lead creams were used to achieve a diaphanous pallor. Despite the toxicity, many women persevered. Pale skin indicated that they did not work outside. In the 19th century, women used lead, arsenic, and mercury to achieve a pale and perfect face. This caused serious poisoning, but was the price of beauty. Only at the end of the century did they begin to look for safer alternatives. The corset created the so-called wasp waist, emphasizing an hourglass figure. However, it caused breathing difficulties, bone deformations, and organ displacement. This ideal began to disappear in the 20th century. In ancient Greece, joined eyebrows were a sign of beauty. Women used pigments or animal hair to join them. Perhaps they symbolized harmony and symmetry of the face. In the 1950s, bullet bras were very popular, made famous by Marilyn Monroe. They gave a projected shape to the breasts, a symbol of power and sensuality, even if they were uncomfortable. Between the late Middle Ages and the early modern era, the braguetta was a male genital cover, often decorated with jewels, a symbol of virility and status. It was worn by men of all classes. Wigs, also called peruke, were popular among men and women. Made from human or animal hair, they were powdered and decorated. Used to cover bald spots or as a symbol of status, they were often expensive and required maintenance. That's all for today. And what do you think about beauty in ancient times? Let me know below in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're interested in these videos. See you next time. Bye.